Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going into Amazon's best sellers, but this is just the power tool and hand tool category. So I tried to narrow it down, but even narrowing it down to this, you still find some gimmicky items. So just bear with me. Sorry, I'm not feeling the best, but we're going to get through these. I'm not going to go over every single one because a lot of them are like little gimmicky gifts. I'm going to share my thoughts on the ones that I think are decent, the ones that are more gimmicky, and once again, there's multiple of these items just sold by different people, so we're not going to go over every single item. I will try to have some of these listed down in the description for you guys if you guys are interested, but it's probably only going to be a few, even though these are Amazon's best sellers in the power tools and hand tools category, which is funny. If you guys follow the channel, you guys probably know that number one right here is probably one of my most disliked tools I've ever owned, and I didn't own it purposely. Somebody borrowed my tool set, lost my ratchet and my spark plug socket, and decided to replace it with a gator grip socket just like this, and a $3 16 tooth ratchet. Worst tool I've ever used. Now I will say, if you buy this tool, which is just it goes up to 19 millimeter, maybe it's a universal socket. It's meant to be used for multiple different size fasteners. You can carry just this one side. If that's what you're purchasing it for, you're going to be highly disappointed. Now, if you purchase these to install eyelet and hooks, the little hook screws or eyelet screws or bolts, whatever you want to call them, it can be great for that. But if you plan on using this as a universal socket for fasteners, like hex fasteners, it is the worst. Just get a socket set. I hate this tool. That's just personal preference. Number two, there's going to be a couple of these on this list, I believe. This is kind of a multi-purpose, multi-function little flashlight, which isn't bad. It's kind of a gimmicky item, but still kind of, universal. It's got built-in magnet. It's got a built-in flex shaft, LED flashlight, kind of one of those little electronic gadgets that even if you're into the automotive stuff or not into automotive repair, something like this could be, a good gift, if you're buying for somebody that but you don't really know. You get what I'm saying? This could be a good gift for that. You got a couple DeWalt products here. You got a bit set for $20. This one's okay. Got a couple nut drivers in there, a couple longer bits, decent amount of Phillips. Looks like number two. And it's an okay set. It's a 40-piece set. And then you got one of their lower tier sets here. This is a drill and impact driver with 2 batteries, a charger, and a bag for $129, which isn't terrible, I think. A lot of the times this is one of the sets that you can find for $99, but I don't think $130 is terrible. But keep in mind, this is not, like top of the line. I believe these are brushed. If you're just somebody looking for a little set to have around the house for small repairs and things like that, it's not a bad set to have. You do a decent amount of work, you might want to step up to, something a little bit more expensive or something a little bit more reliable or longer lasting, something with a little bit more strength. But for anybody that just needs a small set for around the house, this isn't terrible. Here's another one of those little gimmicky items. This is a magnetic wristband. Like if you work up on a ladder or something and you work with a lot of fasteners, something like this could be handy. I can't tell you if this one's reliable or not, if as far as like how strong the magnet is or not. Some of these are really good. Some of them are really bad. I personally would never really use anything like this, but I can see, depending on what you do, this could be handy if it's, done properly. Swiss Army knife, nothing wrong with that. These little tool rolls are pretty decent if you're trying to put together a roadside emergency bag or like a junkyard bag or something like that. Having a roll like this, you can fit a lot of tools into, and they can be pretty decent. Here's another one of those flashlights, another little precision screwdriver, another wristband, magnetic wristband. A lot of these top sellers are just things that are purchased by a lot of people because they're super cheap and have multiple purposes, but, are more of those gimmicky gadget type things. Super cheap screw extractor set. These, the super cheap ones, they don't tend to hold up. You might get a use out of them. They might save your butt once, or they might completely disappoint you. It all just kind of depends on your situation. So you could either win with the super cheap sets, or you could have a bigger headache by the end of the day. You're going to see quite a few of these on the list. They're like a survival pen or a multi-purpose pen. They got levels, bottle openers, precision screwdrivers, sometimes some picks, and flashlight, sometimes a glass breaker, and an all-weather pen, which honestly isn't bad. A lot of the time I've had a few of these in the past, never purchased one, but like sometimes when you order products from companies, they'll throw in things like this, or like when Mopar was our sponsor on the team, I got a pretty decent one. I mean, I would never personally purchase one, but it was, pretty decent. I keep it in my to-go bag, so I mean, it's decent there, but for a gift, it's not a bad idea. I don't see a lot of people purchasing these purposely, for themselves, but that's just me. Another little bit set from DeWalt. This is their 14-piece drill bit set, kind of one of their lower end ones. This one's not bad. At $10, it would help if I had it on the screen for you guys. Right here. Here's a Gerber. That's not really the style I go for. I know it's all personal preference. You're either somebody that carries a EDC multi-tool or you're not. That's all personal preference. I do like to carry a multi-tool or a knife most of the time. Another DeWalt set over here on the right. This is just a drill with 2 batteries and a charger and bag for $99. It's probably the same drill that we saw up top without the impact driver, so I think for the $30 more, it's worth going for that other one because you're getting all of the same stuff for $30 more. You're getting an impact driver. Here we got a little bit ratchet. Not saying that this is the one that you have to, go for, but if you don't have a bit ratchet, having something like this can be great for working up in tight areas like dashes and things like that up against the window. These can be really nice and many other situations. So a Leatherman down here, a little bit different design from the Gerber that we saw up here. DeWalt tire inflator for $110. More of these multi-use pens. Here's, a thrown together set for basically those that are buying their first home and, can't really do much, that's just not your thing. But still, maybe you need to put together an IKEA chair or something like that. This might help you get it done. Maybe not. It's a very generic. Another one of the universal sockets. A lot of, gimmicky stuff on here, which it's kind of confusing to me. When I go to power tools and hand tools, I expect to see certain things and I don't see them. I have like 2 sides to this. I completely understand why the items I expect to be on here aren't on here, and at the same time I feel like this list is mind-blowing because these things that we're looking at a lot of these shouldn't be on here. But I get a lot of people buy gimmicky stuff on Amazon, but when I narrow it down to power tools and hand tools and stuff, these are not the things that I expect them to be. A lot of the same things on here, just sold by different companies. These little miniature micro blades are actually really handy, little box openers and stuff. This design here and this slice up here. Here's a oscillating multi-tool from DeWalt. At least an actual tool in here. Comes with a tool, blade, battery, charger, and a bag for $99. That's not a bad deal at all. Nothing special. It's what you typically see around, but at least at number 37 we have something besides all of the little gimmicky stuff. We have a flippin' ninja star in here. These, once again, another one of those gimmicky items. I've received things like this, like the little card shaped ones that you put in your wallet, which I get it. Some people might get some use out of, but I'm never going to use this. The chance that I'm going to be able to use that center hex section on a fastener, I don't care if that's a 10 millimeter. I don't want to grab the edges of this thing to turn it. You got a bunch of silly, Torx and Phillips and stuff on the outer edge of this thing. Honestly, I would never use this. To each their own. The DeWalt socket set over here, these DeWalt socket sets are pretty handy. This one's got a little bit more of the filler than the one that I typically show in my Amazon videos, but all around the quality of the stuff that I received when I purchased my set was really impressive for the cost. So that's the first 50. We're going to zoom through these last 50. These slice, here's just another design from them. I think they're really nice little box openers. Pretty simple, pretty safe little tools. Here's the Hoto electric screwdriver. That one was very popular for quite a while. A lot of people buying these. They have these and smaller versions of them. We saw one on the first page, and I personally don't really use electric screwdrivers, but if you do like a lot of small electronic repairs or build PCs, things like that, the little electric screwdrivers can be handy, but I'm just not one that really uses them. Another box of dual Ninja stars, DeWalt right angle attachment for under $20 over here. That's not a bad one to go with. Some flush cuts. Now we're actually getting, even though this isn't brand name, at least this is the type of stuff that I want to see, not multi-purpose pens and things that you catch on ads on TikTok and Instagram and all of that. This little Gerber knife, I've had both this one and the larger one. I think this is the small, 2.2 inch. Yeah, because the smaller one has a fine edge, and then my larger one has the serrated edge. They're decent little screwdrivers, nothing, super great, but, a good little EDC, something that, if you lose, you don't really, feelings aren't hurt, but are going to hold up a little bit better than some of these Amazon ones. I've owned a couple of these in the past, not this specifically, but some funky looking ones, and the joints where it actually attaches the blade, I've had two of them and they both did the same thing. The handle started to spread and they just started to fall apart. Just not super reliable. Craftsman socket set, all three drive sizes, 230 piece set for $100. That's not a bad option. Now I will say I've had this set before and those ratchets are garbage. They jam up, they feel horrible. I would just go ahead and replace the ratchets, but that's just personal preference. If you've had good experiences with them, more power to you. I could not stand those ratchets. More Ninja stars and more, good Lord. I want to know all these people buying all these junk items, it doesn't surprise me. From Eklund, USA, little Allen keys for $2.90. Other than that, this list was pretty disappointing as far as best sellers on Amazon. It should be like Amazon's best seller of garbage gadgets and I don't know. There were maybe a handful of items on here that I would consider. A lot of them I would not. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If you've bought any of these gadgets or received any, because I've owned some of these gadgets before. Never purchased them, but have received a lot of them in the past, whether it was with a purchase of some product or if it was as a gift for a holiday of some sort. I'm sure a lot of people have came across those. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Once again, I'll try and have, 2 or 3 items that I think are worth it linked down in the description. So that's it. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that thumbs up. Share your experience with some of these items that you may have received or used in the past down in the comments. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And I hope you guys had a great holiday. And I'll see you guys next time.